Imagine, if you will, a world where a giant sentient container of liquid breaks through your wall and then begins pouring his life fluid into a glass for you to drink.
Welcome to the dark and horrific world of the Kool-Aid Man. And today we'll be using science to determine his absolute mass. But don't worry, we'll barely be using science and it will likely be wrong anyway. This question oftentimes keeps me awake at night. I don't care who you are. You could be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with cyborg arms for all it matters. When this thing comes crashing through your wall, you're peeing your pants. For the purposes of this video, we'll be forgetting the part of Kool-Aid Man lore where he supposedly could be supported by a mechanical bull, because I've just decided that's not canon. In this video, we'll exclusively be looking at Golden Age Kool-Aid Man, where he was best known for running through a wall and then pouring out some of his blood for children to drink. If you look closely at this definitely real brick wall, you'll notice that the bricks themselves don't break, but rather the mortar around the bricks breaks, which makes a lot of sense because mortar is significantly weaker than the bricks that it holds together. Fast forward a few Google searches later and we have the smoking gun to this definitely scientific approach we're taking to this extremely important question. Now, not all mortars are created equally. So we're going to assume that the mortar used to build this house is kind of weak sauce and is on the lower end of the strength spectrum. Now we just need to convert 350 psi over to newtons, and this handy chart right over here allows us to do just that. Luckily for us, the front-facing brick-breaking plane of Kool-Aid Man's body seems close enough to 1 meter square. Kool-Aid Man just casually exerts 2.4 million newtons of force. Maybe that's why he starts pouring his blood into cups for children to drink immediately after breaking through a wall, because I'm pretty sure if I did that, my blood pressure would be sky high as well. Editing Shane here. I just realized I was being extremely lazy in my estimates, and since the Kool-Aid Man is more of a spherical shape than a flat plane, I'm readjusting and changing my original idea, which I am about to film right now. As you can see, his big ol' face pushes through the wall first. This drastically reduces the force required to break through the wall because now we have a much smaller point of contact. Though a fairly large portion of the wall does fail all at once. Shrinking down the point of contact brings us somewhere closer to 224,190 newtons. Newtons isn't weight, Shane, you idiot. Yeah, you're right about both of those things. If you watch the live footage of this beast breaking through that brick wall, you'll notice he does it at a leisurely stroll. He's just casually walking through a wall. For reference, here's how fast a wrecking ball needs to move to reach the same power levels as Kool-Aid Man. Now, because he just casually walks through the wall, we're going to be leaving out any force his legs may be generating. It'll just be his raw mass in motion. We're gonna take a quick science break as I yell at my calculator trying to convert a walking speed of 3.1 miles per hour over to some usable form of acceleration that occurs at the moment he hits the wall in meters per second squared. I decided to paint with a large brush when figuring out acceleration because this is a fairly slow impact that this whole thing happens at. All that means is we're going to end up with more of a range of numbers to work with. Now we can take all of these numbers and toss them into good old force equals mass times acceleration, and we get a drum roll, please. Somewhere in the range of 16,013 to 80,067 kilograms. For my American friends, that's 35,302 to 176,517 pounds. The scary part is this isn't even Kool-Aid Man's peak power level. At one point in the anime, he was the size of the Earth, so his mass would be somewhere in the range of... Or we could just forget this whole thing and go with Google's answer of 6,000 pounds dry and 11,000 pounds filled up.
I lose my self-respect.
Yeah!